1947 in the Healy region, there was a magnitude 7.2 earthquake. Today, 72 years later, there are people alive who remember this earthquake. In 2014, I was fortunate enough to speak with these people and ask them what they recalled from this earthquake. 6 of their stories are shown here, and we can hear and see their stories. To give some idea, we have Geraldine Charlie from Old Minto, Paul Esau, who was in Tolovana at the time, Caroline and Hank Ketzler were in the Nenana region, Sarah Silas in Old Minto, and Berkman Silas. At the time I interviewed them, they'd been married for 70 years. And we can see here the audio and the text here from one of these stories. What matters from these stories is that they provide us scientific information. In the absence of any seismometers in this region, at the time there would be 2 in the entire state of Alaska, none within the epicentral region showing this strong shaking. All of these stories give us an idea of how strong the ground motion was. If we think about Caroline Ketzler, she was up in a food cache at the time this earthquake hit. You can imagine her shaking, and she tells this story. Oh, you were on the Kantishna?
Yeah, and Mom told me to get something out of the high cache. So I climbed the ladder and I went in there, and then I started shaking, and then she went to the door and hollered to get out, but how can I go down the stairway? I'm rocking.
Hank Kessler was in Nenana. He describes, I remember it shaked so bad I tried to run, and I got to the shed and my shoulder hit the edge of the doorway, and I just fell down there and rolled away from the house. You can imagine trying to run out of a house, but instead of the door frame being where it should be, the frame of the door is running right into his path and is knocking him over. Geraldine Charlie was weighing potatoes as an 18-year-old in Old Minto up on the Tanana River. Berkman Silas was ice fishing with men. This is happening in October out on Little Gold Stream Creek. Paul Esau happened to be on his roof during this event out in their place in Tolovana. So these cover a wide geographic region, which we can see in this map, of stories that we simply have no information from. And to be able to speak with these elders was a real pleasure and scientific value for us understanding this earthquake. The Alaska Railroad's first streamlined train is unveiled, quote, when the 2 big diesel units pulled the 8 sleek cars into a crowded depot here for welcoming ceremonies. The timing was somewhat unfortunate as the earthquake damaged the railroad near Healy. This is alluded to in the statement, although slowed down by the present condition of the track. We're reminded that big earthquakes have aftershocks. The aftershocks keep the stories in the news. October 16th, front page. Here we have October 20th. Fairbanks' 3rd strongest earthquake of some 150 since October 6th was felt yesterday afternoon at 3:43. The quake came during the concert of Maxime Shapiro in the Empress Theater, still downtown. The concert was interrupted for only a few seconds and Shapiro resumed his playing. The Fairbanks Concert Association is a cultural institution in Fairbanks. This was the first ever concert, and we see it continued forward with an out-of-town pianist playing right through an earthquake.